Yay. Yay and hey. Do I need to bring that with me? No, but do I want to? Do I want to moisturize my hands? Yes. Want to moisturize your hands? Everybody's doing it. So yay. Let me charge my phone while we're here. Got all my stuff here. I've got my books. I've got my things. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. 7 p.m. Eastern, where I am. Maybe a different time where you are. I know this is earlier by about an hour than 8 p.m., but 7 p.m. seems to work better for me. So I hope this 7 p.m. YouTube live works good for you. Oh, Christine, you're a sweetie. Thank you for letting me know, A, that you're here, and B, that you can see and hear me. That does definitely help. Coffee and calm. Nice to see you. Love it. Regina. Love it. Judy Dukes. Hey, Judy Dukes. Yay. Coffee and calm. Let's all be calm, shall we? Even saying the word calm with the way that the L and the M and the tongue and the back of the throat, calm. Yay. Oh, fun. I just got a reminder of my reservation tomorrow night. Someplace fun. Let me see. +1 to confirm. Oh, hell yeah. There we go. LGV. LGV is hauling out the skillet to make dinner. Very cool. We just had dinner. My husband, I love the fact that he likes to cook, and I am more happy to eat and get things going. I am also going to turn on my do not disturb. Yay for skillets. Yay for dinner. We just had some baked potatoes and chili on a chilly day like today. I hope your day is going well. I hope the part of your day that has passed, that you've gotten some good stuff done. I hope that good stuff has happened to you, just the way things work, that you planted a seed and you forgot about it, or maybe somebody planted one for you and something good came to you today. I hope you write those things down so you remember them, to remind yourself on the daily that good stuff happens, that you make good stuff happen, and because of that, good stuff happens to you and for you and around you. This may sound like a bit of a crazy thing, that you think it would be a good thing. We just got the response back from our tax guy. Yes, we owe taxes, not to be surprised. Yes, it could have been stressful in years past. There was a lot of calming, a lot of talking through. You know what this means, though? This is good. Yay. There we go, Gina Mead. Laura LGV, I'm going to try and do a better job with the dishes done before bedtime. DDBB, dishes done before bedtime. I wonder, Laura Voorhees, are there any dishes? Could you chunk it down? I'm just riffing here, and I'm picturing the dirty dishes that were in my sink. I know you're about to make dinner, but could you do a few easy peasy dishes while we're hanging out so that you have fewer to do after dinner? Could somebody else do the dishes after dinner? I don't know, just riffing here. Could be a thing. Could be. Judy Dukes, I was thinking of you because, man, let me look at my habit tracker. Everybody, you got a habit tracker? What was it? Monday. Boy, did I have a streak of doing a whole bunch of nothing on the second half of the day. But I noticed it. I noticed the circles, the zeros of ain't happening. Oh, there you go. You caught up. I love it, Laura Voorhees. That will make the dinner dishes not such a big job. Good to know. Good to know. So I am back in the saddle again, at least for this day, for doing my evening habit tracking. I need to drink some water. Notice there are certain things that you don't want to rush through. If you try to rush through drinking water, you may have it go down the wrong pipe. It may go up your nose. You may choke on live TV. Slowing down and drinking down. Calm. Good stuff. Yeah, Judy Dukes was doing good on a few, but not others. How about is doing good? Which ones are you doing good at? You don't need to share, of course, but just think, which are the ones I'm doing good at and which are the ones that I'm struggling with? I know myself that the ones I struggle with, frankly, are the ones that get me out of the house and walking around. If I can get out of the house and walk around, the other things tend to flow. The thing that has jammed me up this week has been the weather. But even the weather today, we bundled up and we took walks, not long ones, but more than nothing. It wasn't necessarily pleasant outside, but notice what you're doing not so good on and just get curious. Why not? Don't be judgy. It doesn't help. Okay? Just get curious. I know I slacked off on Monday too because we went out to see friends. And at the end of the night, I was like, I'm just going to bed. Screw this. I'll do better tomorrow. The rebounder and water. Okay, I don't recommend, Judy, that you do both of those at the same time. Can you even imagine? But could you pick some of that? I don't know where you are now. Could you pick one of those and set a timer for 5 minutes? We are going to be here for, I'm doing the math, 53 minutes. 5 minutes on the rebounder. Maybe you could just do that right now, hanging out with us. We don't see you. That's the great thing. If I was on the rebounder, you guys would see it. Or perhaps you want to pick, if you want to pick a, what do you call it? A hydration, a hydration word, like Leslie often does. There's a word I tend to use. Maybe it's down, maybe it's notice, maybe it's curious, Yeah. Try one of those. Give me a word and I'll use it often. And every time I use it, we all have to drink a shot of water. Okay. Oh, is Gina Mead? Is that my okay would be my word? That and my God, we would be running for the bathrooms. Interesting. Today is my tomorrow. That sounds groovy. Man, that's deep. Had some bad luck for St. Pat's and multiple good moments today. Yay. Notice they may cancel each other out. Now, Jeep Girl 59, what's the secret on keeping the main kitchen counter clutter-free? Well, let's see. I guess the most sensible would be to not put stuff on the main kitchen counter in the first place. There's that. Train yourself to put clutter elsewhere. But you know what? There's a reason why we have a main kitchen counter. What I would say is, I think truly the key is to shorten the length of time between when you put something down and when you remove it and put it back. Notice I'm not saying, touch it once or do it, whatever. I'm saying, even if you put it down there, shortening the amount of time that stuff is on the counter. Now, the one thing I will say too about any surface that collects clutter, there are hot spots in your home, in everybody's home, where we all tend to temporarily put things down. And sometimes that temporarily turns into a little bit more permanent than we'd like. But clutter on surfaces is going to be expected if you live in your house. Now, I have got this down. So like we have cleaned off and cluttered up and cleaned off and cluttered up our main section of counter in the kitchen a number of times already today. Get used to being okay with temporary clutter and just knowing that it's going to come again. But the more you can do the little easy peasies, like for example, my husband made soup this afternoon and he was good about taking the lid off, pouring the soup in, and he rinsed the can out and he put it on the side of the sink. So when I was in the kitchen, I saw that and I knew it would be very easy for me to take the clean, empty can and put it in the recycle bin. So I did that. Anything that's easy peasy, do those things. And then, take some time. If it's important for you to look at a main kitchen counter and have it be clutter free, then spend some time on the things that are important to you. Even if you know that, unlike other parts of your house, that the weeds are going to grow up again. That unless you don't use that counter at all, there will inevitably be one thing. And I think I might have told this story, but like the other day, I did my dishes. It was great. I scrubbed out the sink. It looked beautiful. And then I looked over. I'm like, there's a spoon. And the dishwasher was already going. And I was just, there was something that I was like, okay, I broke the seal. It was clean and delightful for a hot minute, but then I used it as a sink. Okay. Judy Duke, I hope that helps. Jeep Girl 59. Anything else? If that's not working for you, give me some specifics and I'm happy to help you with that. And for those of you who may not know me, I don't think we have a lot of people who are outside of the club, as LGV likes to call it. But in case you don't know who I am, my name is Beth, but I'm a decluttering life coach. My coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Okay. Jeep Girl. Oh, I'm glad. Okay. I'm glad. And just give it a shot. Even right now, honestly, you don't need to be watching the screen. You'll see me point to this road trip behind me. My hands will gesticulate wildly. You know, I might make a goofy face, but you don't need to see the screen to absorb the benefit. So please, if you have some surfaces that you want decluttered, why don't you just start some of that now? I don't mind. Busy yourself with other things while you're listening to me. Notice that Judy Dukes gave notice as the hydration word. Now, what's a hydration word? It's just a silly thing. We have fun here, okay? And it's a silly thing, kind of like doing shots. When somebody repeats a word, and I repeat words because the words I use and repeat are good words. So today is going to be notice. Anytime I say the word notice, I may not even notice it myself, but take a sip of water. Let's all hydrate. Yes, we may need to go to the restroom later today, but at least we are getting good, nice water in ourselves, okay? I don't have a full glass here. My glass is always half full, metaphorically. But I will I will aim for drinking the rest of this before we're done in about 45 minutes or so. So notice that I've kind of set myself a destination empty cup by a certain time frame. It's almost like a formula, a math formula. So that's what I'm working on. But how about you? What can I help you with even right now? I say this often in the morning when I do the TikTok lives and the YouTubes. I love it. Christine says, journaled with my backseat drivers before this live to discuss decluttering on this 93-degree day. Oh, I've heard it is warm in California. Yes, cranked up the AC, and I have a jug full of ice water, and we're ready to go. I was saying to my husband, and I think Christine and everybody here, and especially women of an age, the importance of your body being at a temperature that is pleasant to you. Notice that when we do the crown on down, how does my body feel? I can't do anything because I'm freezing cold, or it's difficult for me to do something because I'm wicked hot, right? And this is the Bay Area winter. I know, huh? I know. My sister is visiting her kiddos in Colorado. Now, I think of Colorado and I think Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. Is that what it? I think of skiing and stuff like that. She said it was like 70 out there. Now, here in Pennsylvania, not so much. Not so much. What did we have today? It is 36, but man, it felt like 17 earlier today. But notice that thing about your body. Notice the details, the fine tuning you can do to make things more comfortable. Yeah, I am. It's funny. I have a sweatshirt. I'm going to wear it tomorrow. It says East Coast on it, but man, I am telling you, even right now, my bare feet, because I'm drying my toes that I just painted, my bare feet are like inching towards the heater coming out of the wall. Oh, cold in Ohio. Notice how much easier things can be when your body is not bugging you, when it's not too hot, it's not too cold, it's just right. that you're not parched, but you're not running to the bathroom. You're hydrated, but you're not too full. When you don't have a headache, when your muscles aren't aching, when you're just feeling okay. When you're feeling okay or better, as my friend Heather would say, anything or better, things can be easy. They can be easier than they are if you try to do them when you're not feeling well. That's why the number one on the list is always doing the scan from the crown on down. And that isn't just do it in the morning and set it and forget it. No, it's throughout the day. How am I feeling? Do I sense something coming on that I can nip it in the bud while it's small as opposed for it to getting bigger? That's why we're doing sips of water as opposed to guzzling them. A sip here, a sip there, and then suddenly you don't even realize that you finished your water versus, oh my gosh, it's 8 p.m. and I haven't drunk 64 ounces, and then you're trying to chug a lug. Notice which one, notice which one feels better. You have a choice. Pick the easier choice. Pick the smaller thing. Pick the lower step to step up on. Notice that's a step. What's the step? Pick the lower one. It's not really the big tall one. And even if there's a big tall step, you can make a little staircase up to it. Doesn't that sound like fun? So, how would you like to spend our time this evening? I do these for you. I am here for you. So help me out here. What question do you have? What are you working on? How can we pass this time together so at the end of it, in about 40 minutes or so, we all feel good about the quantity of time we spent together and the quality of that time? Now, everybody's going to be a little bit different. Every different time zone, different how I'm feeling, different schedule. I myself am winding down a lot of my stuff, as you know, because hopefully many of you saw that I sent out an email to the entire group, the big group, and it was mainly about, frankly, the Pen Pal Club. Now, the Pen Pal Club I was jokingly saying, in hibernation for the past few months, mainly because I've been around. But this is to help you connect up with other folks who want to connect up with other folks. Not everybody does. But if you want to connect up, you send me your email address. I will add it to a list, and that list will be available to not the whole group, not to the public, just to the other people who say, I would like to connect. And right now, the best way I can think of doing that is to use email addresses. So if anybody has any questions about the Pen Pal Club, technical questions, metaphysical questions, whatever, feel free to put them in the comments. It is my hope, frankly, that group will enable you to feel more comfortable to reach out to people either en masse all together, because there's less than 100. So hopefully you won't get flagged for sending out spams from your email system. Help you maintain connections with people, even when I, as the hub of this wheel, like the hub of the universe, Boston, you're my home, the hub is absent. But how can you still connect when I am the thing you usually have to go through to get through other people? That's what the Pen Pal Club is. So I really want you guys to take ownership and play around with it. Have some fun. Okay. As I mentioned in the email, I will, you email me your info that you want added to it. I will do that most likely after I think I'm going to do it all at once when I come home from this trip that I leave for very early tomorrow. And then it will give enough time for people who will read their emails every so often. I will update it. And then before I leave next Tuesday, I will send out the link to the list, just to the people on the list. Okay. So that's how that's going to work. But if you have any questions, let me know. It's a work in progress too. It's totally, you are part of generating something that hasn't existed before. So that can be kind of exciting. There we go. Barbara says, I'm making good progress in my art classroom. Awesome, Barbara. First priority, clearing tables. surfaces, if you will. Yeah. Almost done. Awesome. Yay for being almost done with that. Anybody else almost done with something? Or even this. What is something you completed today? No matter how small, what is something that you completed today that you feel good about? Pop it in the comments. What is something you started today that you feel good about? And remember, a start doesn't need to be a fresh start. You can start up a project that you had been working on for a while, or even just yesterday. What did you start again today that you're feeling good right now for when you look in the rearview mirror of what you've done already today? What have you started again or for the first time today that's making you feel good about doing that by sticking to it? Like Judy Dukes and I this month, I'm totally all like talking to her about our habit tracker. Every day is an opportunity to start again. Every day you start your habit tracker again. Now, I definitely have a number of days where I am going to set myself up to do some of these things when I'm out of my house. But am I going to bring my habit tracker with me? No. What is something that you feel good about doing today? As I mentioned, one of the things that I feel good about is even though I had to pay taxes, I scheduled my tax payments. I paid the guy who did my taxes. And I said to my husband, anytime, like every year, I want to decrease the amount of time and energy that I need to spend on our taxes. I love it. I could have waited and pushed it off and whatever. I loved getting that done before this trip, getting it done almost a month before they're due. Now, I will admit, because I don't want the government to have my money, not the way they're spending it right now, but I did schedule my payments, not until they're almost due. There we go, Judy Dukes. Notice you. Every day you start to declutter again. You start decluttering. I have decluttered all of my emails. Awesome. And deleting each day so it doesn't get out of control again. You are controlling instead of out of control. You've got it under control. Yeah, I guess under control. Yay, Judy. How does that feel? How does it feel when you go? And that's so weird. My do not disturb is on, and yet maybe I got to shut off the ringer. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Oh, that's so weird. Any case, I apologize. I got totally distracted by something. That's why I have put my phone on do not disturb and turned it upside down. But that was good, actually. There we go. I started going through my Google photos and deleting a lot. Right. Every little bit helps. If I had one of those, notice that I do not have one of those mugs that says every little bit helps on it, but I have them. And it's true. Sometimes deleting, you'll get the good feeling of getting rid of stuff, and you can practice and notice and generate that good feeling when you are deleting digital stuff. And remind yourself that same even better feeling happens when you delete your physical items. Now, sometimes just sitting there and scrolling and decluttering can be a nice break from moving around and doing that. So yay, Judy. Judy, you are really making progress. That is great. That is great. I think I said notice earlier. Oh, just said it again. Slow down. You move too fast. Slow down, swallow down. Allow the water to go down your esophagus into your belly. Good stuff. Ooh, Mary Lou, I finally mailed a package to my brother. It was a late gift, so that feels good. Awesome. And it's one more thing out of the house. Yay. Check mark, check mark. Good stuff. Yeah, I got together some stuff. I ordered some bathing suits online. What was I thinking? What sizes? Luckily, they had a great return policy and they're already sending me one that's a better size for my body. But man, did it feel good to do that. Now they give you 30 days. Maybe they give you 60 days. I wanted that out of my house. Sure, it took some steps, right? But it felt good to get it done. Frankly, it even would have felt good to get it started. If I had printed out the packing list and put the envelope there, but not quite done it, I would have felt good about getting it started. So yay, Judy and Mary Lou. Anybody else start something today? Think about it for a moment. Reflect back. I love saying like the rear view mirror has a reflection. So when you're in the car, you look back and you see what's behind you in the hours of the day that have already happened. What's something that you got started or completed today? And if you don't have anything, you still have time. The day is not over yet. Now, I write those things down and I cross them off my list and I put them in my book. Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah. See, this is one. Send out email to group about the Pen Pal Club. Crossed it off my list. I did a TikTok live. Took a walk. Finished packing. Haven't done that yet. Go to bed early. Gonna do that. YouTube live. I can put a check mark on that. Yeah. Okay. So Judy Dukes, question about cardboard. My garage is a mess with boxes to recycle. Do you break down boxes right away and how do you contain them before taking it to recycle? I would immediately break down the boxes because that will take up less visual space and make you feel less overwhelmed. And then the way our stuff works is we have a container outside the house, like a trash toter, and they actually pick up the recycling. And then how do you contain it before taking it to recycle? One of the things my husband used to do would be if you have a big box, keep the big box open, and then you could break down the boxes and kind of put them in, like stack them, like almost like file folders or something. You could do something like that. So that might help. You might find a place where you can contain a certain amount of those before you take them to where you recycle them. The other thing could be too, Judy, is depending upon, now again, I'm just riffing here, but depending upon your car situation and where you bring your cardboard, you might put it a couple of them in at a time. Every time you break one down, you might put it in the trunk of your car, and then it's all ready to go to the place with the thing. What you don't want to do, though, this is the thing I will say with anything, you don't want to have it pile up so much that you get overwhelmed with the amount of broken down boxes. So pick a date, maybe look at your calendar. I almost looked at my phone calendar. I'm not going to do that in case somebody texted me, but you can look at, let's say, the weather report. Find a day where the weather's not going to be that bad, that your recycling place is open, and put that on the schedule it for yourself. Okay. It may not be for now. And depending upon how much you have, kind of like resetting it. Yeah. And notice, yeah, I always wait way too long and do become overwhelmed with it. And that phrase you just wrote, Judy, notice, you could apply that to anything. If you wait too long and let things pile up, a big pile of anything will overwhelm somebody, even a pile of gold doubloons. Whoa, that's a lot of gold doubloons. So distance yourself from the unwanted behavior by verbally rephrasing that. I used to put the unwanted behavior in the past tense. I used to wait. If you say, I always do this, you're not changing that, but say, I used to wait way too long and I did become overwhelmed with it. Now what I do is maybe, because this is a thing we used to do when we were getting out of the habit. We were in the habit in our house when the basement was a hot mess. We'd get something in a box and then my husband's like, well, we might need to mail something out someday. And so we would just take the unbroken down box and literally just throw it down the basement stairs. Then when we go down to the basement and see how many boxes were unbroken down and all over the place, that was overwhelming. We have stopped doing that, and we break down the boxes pretty much as soon as we are sure that that thing is not going to be returned. So we break down the boxes before we even put them in the garage. We even have like a box inside the house, like a recycle box for some of the smaller stuff. Now, Gina is offering, if the boxes are a good size for moving, post a free pickup to anyone needing them. Yeah, like right now, for example, if you have a lot of like decent sized boxes that somebody could, like, not too big, because when you're moving and you put stuff in big boxes, they become heavy, but like a decent sized box that you can envision somebody putting books in or stuff like that, if they're unbroken down, or even if they're broken down, you might be able to go onto one of your like local Facebook groups. Yeah. So Judy Dukes, notice this, like us, you currently have a habit that is giving you a result you don't like. Change that habit. Start with the next boxes that come in. Do something different. You can do it. We do not do it. We occasionally would be like, oh, that's right, we don't do that anymore. And then go downstairs and get the box and break it down. It feels much better. Okay? Feels much better. There we go, Cat Roby. Nice to see you. Hey there, hi there, ho there. You're as welcome as can be. What is that? Is that the Mickey Mouse Club? I don't know. Which one is it? Hey there, hi there, ho there. You're as welcome. Yeah, I love it. Somebody who knows what that is, because my Gen X brain is getting tired. But I love it. Thank you for saying that. SBB, winding up the day. Notice, winding it up. Winding it up, but really you're winding down the day. Moving the tax paperwork back to the work area, aka dining table, because how many people really dine, except for maybe on St. Patrick's Day? And yay, for a St. Patrick's Day dinner party. Now, this is funny. You're going to crack up. Yay, Barbara. Student table's done. I will share this Gen X crossed wires moment in my head. We did not watch the Mickey Mouse Club when I was growing up. There were reruns, and I remember seeing a little bit of them. So I kind of know that song. But right now, my brain went this, and I think you're going to see where it switched to a completely different song. It went, hey there, hi there, ho there. You're as welcome as can be, like Robinson Crusoe, as primitive as can be. So join us here each week, my friend. Well, sure. I totally went from Mickey Mouse Club to Gilligan's Island. Go figure. Isn't that funny? Isn't it funny what your brain does? Like there was just a crossed synapse, a crossing of the wires, you know? Funny. Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one too. So Gina is also saying about the breaking down of boxes, or how to better use the boxes. She says, we don't have a recycling center, and there's usually someone that needs my boxes. People that ship handmade items have asked me to save smaller ones. Yeah. Oh my gosh. And Cat Roby, brains are fun. The more you can have fun with your brain, the better your life is going to be. Have some fun. Sing it. It's going to be singing songs to you. Calm down that backseat driver. Be like, man, be quiet. I'm having fun up here singing to the radio. I get you. There's nothing to worry about in the backseat. The backseat driver worries about a lot of stuff. It's trying to save you from stuff it's afraid that's going to happen. So many things we worry about never happen. Never happen. The fact that I have to print out a 75-page tax return and put it down my basement and have it sit there for 7 to 10 years in case somebody decides to audit me. But notice what you actually, this is a phrase somebody I read somewhere that really resonated, which was this: worrying is praying for what you don't want to happen. Worrying is creating in your mind the vision of what isn't going to happen. Well, who wants that vision in their head? No, this is why I don't watch scary movies or bad stuff. I know there are scary, bad things in the world. I know enough of them. I don't need the gory details. So notice if you are worrying and your brain is picturing all the things that could go wrong, how does that feel? It doesn't feel so good. Now, it is trying to tell you, for example, be safe on that plane journey tomorrow. So, yeah, I will be. I will do what I can to be safe. I will wear my safety belt. I will not overpack my bag. I will be morbid and remind my husband of where the important papers are. In case I go down in a plane crash, I will make sure I tell my husband I love him before I leave. But I'm not going to worry because worrying is an attempt to control something that oftentimes you have no control over it, you know? Yes, Christine, right on. Right on. What am I in the 70s? I just said right on. Oh, I'm cracking myself up. Focus, notice, focus on what you want more of. Peace, tranquility, kindness, chocolate, Cadbury eggs that are going to be dessert after this the YouTube live is over. I know, groovy, man. Did I say notice? Okay, see, I didn't even notice I said notice, and now I've said it like 4 times. All right. 4 sips. 1 sip of water. 2 sips of water. 3 sips of water. 4 sips of water. Now, those might have been extra small because part of me is still cracking up that I said right on, but I made them small because anything bigger, I was afraid I was going to choke and laugh. So, Gina, yes, thank you for pointing out when I said the magic word. Okay, great stuff. But yes, envision more. Your brain is so powerful. Your imagination can cause you to feel feelings. Your brain can make your body feel feelings. So make sure they're good feelings. Yeah. And yay, Judy Dukes, I'm glad because laughter is power. Having some fun. Laugh it off. Yeah. I'm cracking up. I don't even know where that came from. Somewhere up here in the Gen X files here. So have some fun. Get it done. Speaking of having fun and getting it done, now tomorrow is Thursday. There's Thursday, there's Friday, there's Saturday, and there's Sunday. 4 days, where there will be no TikTok lives from me, no YouTube lives from me. I will be back on Monday, and I'm just going to check the secret page. Yes, Monday, March 23rd, I'll be back, but that's the only one of next week, too. Then that's going to be even more Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What are you going to do without me? Do you have a plan? Are you going to watch some recordings? Write it down. Because many of us, myself included, I'm in the habit of showing up and doing a TikTok live and a YouTube live. There were years, as you know, where I didn't do the both. Now I may wind them down to just 1 per day. We shall see. But what's your plan? Make a plan, because when you make a plan, then you're not caught off guard. Are you going to join the email club? Now, I am giving everybody in the big decluttered group an opportunity to turn it over in their heads. Do I want to be part of the Pen Pal Club or not? That's why I decided to give you the Thursday to Sunday to decide and get in touch with me. But then Monday, I will update the list and then I will send it out so that on the time that I'm gone from Tuesday to the following Monday, that you guys will be able to connect with each other. Yeah. So, Judy, notice you're in the habit of watching you every day. I'm in the habit of showing up. Now, luckily, I will say this often when I don't show up, it's because I am not even at my desk and I practice not even bringing my laptop with me. That to me is real travel, where I only bring my phone. I felt a little bit off on Sunday when technically I could have done a pop up. Habits are strong, but I didn't do a pop up because I want you to practice without me. Now, I'm not going anywhere for years, or at least until the foreseeable future. I enjoy what I do and I enjoy hanging out with you guys. So do not fear, but also I don't want you to lose momentum simply because I am living my life the way I want to, which includes a lot of travel. And I know that's not for everyone. In fact, when I was describing my travel schedule to a friend on Monday night, she was like, nope, nope, that would not work for me. And I was like, oh my God, I love it. Maybe I'm going to be tired. I'm taking a red eye. I've got a day and then I've got a day and then I'm going another place. I said to her, and this is part of my thing, I enjoy being able to say yes to interesting opportunities. I actually have, that I'm looking at right now, a document that I made years ago at this point, and I entitled it My Awesome Life. And then I listed a bunch of things that I'm grateful for. And I have some headers and some subheaders because that's how my brain works. And I am grateful that I am in control of my time. I truly am. Because there's been decades that I have not been in control of this vast quantity of my time as I used to be. I used to have my time taken over by school and then work and then other things. So I am grateful that I'm in control of my time. And one of the things I am more specific about is it brings me joy to say yes to interesting opportunities. So frankly, I was supposed to be somewhere completely different starting tomorrow through 2 weeks. Things changed. I am flexible about that. And I was fine staying home because I enjoy my life here and abroad. And then I got a text from my sister who was like, this sounds crazy, but would you want to do this? And I was like, yeah. And I was able to say yes. And I love being able to say yes because I feel like earlier in my life, not only was I told, no, you can't do that, but I told myself, no, I can't do that, even when technically I could have. But I had heard no so much that I started telling myself no and just saved the people in my life the trouble of telling me no. I just started saying, nope, can't do it. Yeah. Now, Judy Duke says, I'd like to travel, but with everything going on in this country, I'm afraid to. Okay, notice that. The fear of that something might happen when you are traveling. Now, it depends, I would say, to me, on where you're traveling. I do have a list of blue states. I will be traveling tomorrow to California, so I don't worry about that. But notice, I am worried. I am afraid. So, Judy Dukes, notice the fear. Notice the water. That's 2. One sip of water. 2 sips of water. Yeah. So, Judy, I would just ask yourself, and you do not need to share it in the comments, but write it down for yourself. I'm afraid to travel What am I afraid is going to happen if I travel? Go there. Go there. Identify. Get more detaily about what you're afraid of. It will shrink it down, or at least it will allow you to name it, label it, manage it. I'm not particularly afraid to travel. And here's a fun thing I will share with you. I travel quite a bit. And so when I go and travel, I see tons of people, just regular folks doing their things. And so I'm not that afraid to travel. I will say I am curious if tomorrow the TSA lines are going to be long, because I've gotten notifications that the Philadelphia airport has closed certain TSA locations in the different terminals. Luckily, the one that I prefer to go to is open. Luckily, and so this is what I did, Judy Dukes. If I was afraid I was going to have to spend a long time in the TSA line, I could do something to make that be different. I would look at my boarding pass here, but I don't want to flip over my phone in case there's all sorts of stuff going on. But I will say this. One of the things that I have is I have TSA pre. So I can avoid the regular line altogether and to go in TSA. I know I'm not the only one. It's like the easy pass of the airport. So that may be long too. So you know what I did? I got a notification from American Airlines about TSA. I can't remember what it's called. Not Clear, because you have to pay for that one. Touchless or something, which is a subset of TSA that maybe not everybody has opted into, and there may be a different line. So I will still also leave earlier than I planned on, because my fear of missing my flight or I'm not even afraid of missing my flight. I am afraid of missing quality time in the Centurion Lounge and getting a free cup of tea and maybe some breakfast. So I don't want that to happen. I do want to go to the lounge. I will do many things in order to ensure I get what I want. I will set my alarm I can't open my phone. My God, talk about a habit. I have my alarm set for like 4 a.m. Luckily, I am an early bird. I'm not that early of a bird, but I will get to the airline early. I will hopefully, and I have written this down, I envision myself getting an easy parking space. I envision myself floating through TSA pre. I envision myself not having to wait in line to get to the lounge. And I noticed when I did flip over my phone earlier today and look at my boarding pass that my departure gate is in the same terminal as the lounge. So notice the things you can do to calm down what you're afraid of. You don't have to, though. You can stay there. I'm not going to convince anybody of anything. But what I hopefully just walked you through is something that could be a fear, and then things you can do to change it. Now, if anything, I feel like I could tomorrow do a quick video to be like, Judy Dukes, it's okay, I got here. Or even better yet, from my destination. And I do have some time because I have to wait for my sister at the Hertz Rent-A-Car. So maybe I'll do a little quick video and post it to be like, I got through TSA and this was free. Yeah. Oh, funny. I love it, Barbara. How fun is that? Speaking of the 70s, we had short classes today due to early dismissal for parent-teacher conferences. So more casual lessons. Yeah, I somehow was prompted, Gen X brain, to show them kids in the back seats of station wagons. Oh my gosh. We didn't have the ones, I'm trying to think. We didn't have the one that had the seats. I think ours had like a thing where the spare tire was there, but we loved to sit in the back seat in the back, the way back, and slide around when somebody took a corner, when somebody there's a certain point where you went over a hill and then you kind of went, "Whoa." There were no seat belts back there. Yeah. So notice they are in the habit of putting on a seatbelt. I remember when seatbelts became mandatory in Massachusetts. I feel like it was 1994, 95. Excuse me. I lose decades like nobody believes. I believe it was 1984 or 1985. We were not in the habit of wearing the safety belts. So when we had to do it, it felt weird. It felt restrictive. It did not feel normal to us because we were not used to it. Nowadays, I am asking my husband to put on the seatbelt and myself, even if we're just driving around the corner, because I feel like that's that one time that we're going to get blindsided by a car. So we practice, and it feels weird now to not have them on. So notice that you can change your habits. Something that feels odd today because it's new and different could feel like regular the more you repeat it. Yeah, no seatbelt laws. And the reason they invented the seatbelt laws is because people were dying. And I don't want to die. Well, I mean, we're all going to, but I don't want to die in a car crash. I want to die, I don't know, in my bed. Just fall asleep, tell everybody I love them, fall asleep, don't wake up. But notice the things that seemed regular to you now. They were the habits you were used to. The habit of throwing the boxes down the basement or out in the garage. The habit of avoiding them until they piled up because you knew you were going to get overwhelmed. Yeah. Interesting. Christine, notice that. I discovered journaling with my backseat drivers yesterday that they were afraid of getting kidnapped from all the obsession I've had with the Nancy Guthrie case. I immediately unfollowed the social media discussion groups and I've had so much less anxiety in the past 24 hours. Yay. Now, is Nancy Guthrie that mom of that person who works on the TV who got kidnapped? I see a little bit of it. It's amazing what you can pick up bits and pieces on the socials, but I know myself that that would just introduce a new level of worry in my life that I don't need to know about because I am hyper aware. I am a female. I am a woman who grew up in the United States. I have been trained since day one to be aware of creepy guys, to be aware of your surroundings, to only be where it's lit and safe. So I know a lot of that stuff. Sometimes you can't help it. I doubt somebody's going to kidnap me. Okay, Savannah Guthrie, and she's somebody on TV. Okay, cool. Yes, and notice what happened. Christine, I love this. I love that you hung out with your backseat drivers and they said, we're afraid of being kidnapped, and you didn't judge them. You didn't laugh at them. You said, oh my gosh, I get that. Okay, we can do something to lessen that. Notice when you watch all that stuff, it keeps your nervous system in a heightened state. And that is not a good place to be. That is like, that kind of thing is to be used only in emergencies. It's like breaking the glass and putting yourself in that kind of fight or flight to get yourself to flee away from something. But if you're always at that level, that's not good for you. So yay for you for not making fun of your backseat drivers, to say, I'm afraid of being um, kidnapped, and then you say, what's something I can do to reduce that? I know I can unsubscribe from that stuff. Subscribing to those things adds to my stress. Opposite. Unsubscribing could decrease my stress. So yay for you, not for backseat driver convos. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how people are into true crime stuff. I would never sleep. Me too. I don't need to know that stuff. I don't mean to put my head in the sand. I do know it happens, and I do take precautions to be aware. But the interesting thing is that if you didn't know about it and you were still aware, maybe your quality of life would be better. I don't know. Speaking of aware, you know what I'm noticing? I am noticing a couple of things. I am noticing that we have about less than 4 minutes of this YouTube Live. I am noticing that I have very little water in here. And the rebels are like, yeah, can we just focus on fun stuff? And you're up there going, oh, hell yeah, let's do that. Let's focus on the fun things. Because if you look for the bad in this world, you are going to find the bad. It's there. You don't have to scratch the surface. It's right there in your face. But when you stay there hanging out with the bad, you begin to feel bad, and that can affect how you feel and what you do, both for yourself and for the world. That's what they want. That's what they want. For you to be like, oh, they've already done this stuff. I'm powerless. No, there's a lot of bluffing going on. There's a lot of bluffing going on. So remember, focus on some fun things. Know that bad things can happen. Don't be stupid, but notice things, okay? Oops. I just said notice. Judy Dukes. I'm not going to chug, but I'm going to use that last notice to calmly and slowly and safely drink the rest of this water, because there's substantially less than there was when I started. That was like 3 sips. Judy Dukes, did you get some water in you today? If you did, put it on your habit tracker. What do I have left? Teeth brushing, face wash and moisturize, teeth flossing, night pill. Oh, actually, I already took my vitamins. I took them early. Now, here's a fun thing. I will floss my teeth tonight. I don't do it every day. Look at you, Judy Dukes, 30 ounces down during the live. I highly recommend. Judy, I'm just saying this, just for future reference. Can you imagine? I cannot imagine it would be comfortable for you to go on the rebounder after drinking 30 ounces of water. So the next time you do this, you might want to rebound first and drink water later. But yay for you. You can now fill in that little paver of I did some water. Now, I am doing pretty well today, as getting kind of a nice, almost a complete like column of stuff. So in order to add to my column, I will brush my teeth. Or excuse me, I brush my teeth. I will floss my teeth. I will brush my teeth. That is going to happen after I eat my Cadbury chocolate milk eggs that my husband bought at the grocery store today, because I want to enjoy those. Okay. Oh my goodness, 7:59 and some change. So thank you everybody for the good wishes. I want you to keep on maintaining your decluttering and surfaces, to try something new. If you're not part of the Pen Pal group, I will not force you. It shouldn't be something that you're forcing, but you have a few ideas of it might benefit you to have somebody you could email to say, hey, I would like to do a declutter party, or I want to declutter on a certain day when Beth is gone. Would you want to email back and forth and just have a start time and a stop time and a check-in time? Keep it simple, keep it small. Okay. But keep on going even when I'm not here. Now, it sounds like I'm dying. That seemed pretty morbid. I'm only going to California and I'm coming back. Okay. But I hope this was fun. It was fun for me too. I will see you upon my return. And you got this. You can do it even when I'm not here. All right. Bye.